But I just either wanted them to boot me out or shoot me. We're releasing the English woman. She's a very bad woman with a very bad mouth. Yes, I was captured by the Taliban, and the story I've told, people have said, is like fiction. Innocent giants, smiling assassins. What can I say? They treated me with courtesy and respect. That's the truth. People don't want to hear it, but that is the truth. And they invited me to embrace Islam. And I said, I can't make such a life-changing decision. But if you release me, I promise I'll read your holy book and I'll study Islam. I would have promised them anything to get out of that hellhole. You know, I don't take kindly to being locked up. And 11 days, it was a terrifying experience. I thought every day was going to be my last. You know, this is a regime that we were told by Bush and Blair hates women, it's brutal, it's evil. I didn't give myself any odds on surviving the first night. But as I say, they treated me with courtesy and respect. Me, on the other hand, you know, I laugh when people say, oh, Ridley, yeah, she's a victim of Stockholm Syndrome. Well, I do laugh because I was the prisoner from hell. Risky strategy, yes, but I just either wanted them to boot me out or shoot me. You know, I'm an all or nothing person. And I just thought, I am not, you know, I'd read all about the Beirut hostages, Terry Waite, being chained to a radiator for 5 years. And I just thought, no, I don't want any of this. Either let me go or shoot me. And so I spat at them, I swore at them, I threw things at them. They held a press conference when I was being released and they said, we're releasing the English woman. She's a very bad woman with a very bad mouth. Stockholm Syndrome? No. You have to bond with your captors, and I certainly did not bond with the Taliban. In fact, I don't know who was happier when I was released and crossed over no man's land back into Pakistan. I don't know who cheered more, me inside or them going, yes, finally got rid of her. The story was unbelievable, but I told the truth when I got out, and it had a funny impact. As I say, there was no love lost between me or the regime, but they did appreciate that I told the truth. So much so that when they had their signing of the peace initiative in Qatar in 2020, they invited me to be a witness, which I thought was quite sweet. I didn't go because of COVID. Did you use the term smiling assassin initially, or when you wrote the whole incident, you needed a name for the unnamed person? Oh no, the smiling assassin, that was his name right from the beginning. And that was the foreign minister's deputy. And he was probably a pleasant man, but you see, I had this Western mindset. I just saw big black turbans, big black beards, and oh my God, they're going to kill me. And this one was smiling all the time, even when I spat at the foreign minister, he's still smiling. And I just thought, oh, he's smiling because it's going to be good night Vienna for me. So yeah, that was the name that I gave him. Now that you're asking, I read somewhere that a certain group wouldn't want your safe return. Well, there was a lot of politics going on behind the scene, and there was a group who needed something dramatic to happen to kickstart the war. And I have a feeling it was on the American side. And they certainly wouldn't sacrifice their own. They had a couple of Americans locked up in the same prison I was in. But I think that if I had gone home in a body bag, it would have helped kickstart the war. And I think the Taliban realised that. And while they hang on to other Westerners, they sent me back. Because during one exchange, they said, your Prime Minister, Tony Blair, he must be very upset that we have you. And I went, what? I said, you must be joking. I said, Tony Blair will only be sad that there aren't more journalists like me locked up here. I said, he won't be sad at all. And they were quite surprised by this. And so I think in their wisdom, they decided, oh, so he doesn't want her back. Well, let's send her back because we don't want her. She's a, a bad-mouthed English woman. So off I was sent back. And that really upset a certain group of people because not only did I come back fully intact, not a hair harmed on my head, but I also said I'd been treated with courtesy and respect. And you can't drop bombs on nice people. And it's like, oh, what is she saying? So it wasn't a welcome return by any means. The BBC did call me the former journalist once I had converted to Islam. And I had quite a job writing to various departments saying, hello, I'm still a journalist. I wear a hijab, but I'm still a journalist. And it really bothered me because, I trained for 4 years as an apprentice. I worked really hard as a journalist. It's a great job. I love it. And for some policy wonk in the BBC to say, the former journalist Yvonne Ridley, it's like, how dare you? So yes, as you've gathered, you've hit a raw nerve there. If you were a victim, all the broadcasting networks would be highlighting your name even more, like they did with Malala Yousafzai. But you see, Malala was shot and within an inch of her life. And I'm not taking it away from Malala. She is a courageous young woman. Absolutely adore her. And she gets a lot of stick from people in Pakistan. They say, oh, she's a Western stooge. There's a big conspiracy theory. And I go, oh, for goodness sake, don't tell me you think that this girl deliberately got shot by the Taliban, jumped in front of the bullets so she could be shot. And, they say, oh, she's a Western stooge. Well, she has been fated by the great and good, but I'll tell you something else. She's the only Pakistani I know who, out of all of the leaders that have trailed in and out of the White House, she's the only one who has stood up to the president, in her case it was Barack Obama, and challenged him and criticised him over his drone policy. And I find that very interesting. Erdogan, Malala Yousafzai, Narendra Modi, President Joe Biden, Imran Khan. Oh, I guess you want me to say something about them all. I'm a big fan of Erdogan. He is standing up for the Muslims. He's standing up for the Rohingya, the Uyghur, anywhere where Muslims are being persecuted. He's becoming a real sort of champion for that. And he's also intervened in Syria. Otherwise, Assad and the Russians would have totally crushed the Syrian resistance by now. He saved Tripoli in Libya from collapsing last year by intervening from this rogue General Haftar. Erdogan was supporting the UN-backed government. So I think he's a great leader, very strategic, very clever. I wouldn't want to cross him, but if I was in a fight, I'd like him on my side. Malala Yousafzai, absolutely love her. She's an inspiration. And as I say, the only Pakistani I know who's been in the Oval Office and told the US president how crap his drone policies are. And so, yeah, she's a great inspiration. Again, focusing on education, and that's important. Narendra Modi, I think he's a brute of a man. I'm not impressed by him at all. India, in one way, you know, it's got a space program. It's making huge strides across the globe, and then on the other side, the way that Indian women are treated, the caste system, the class system, this misogynistic regime. No, I've no time for the man. Joe Biden remains to be seen. He hasn't done 100 days yet. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He's got to be better than the last guy, and let's face it, the bar isn't very high on that. And Imran Khan, I'm a big fan of Imran Khan. I think he has the capability to turn Pakistan around. He loves his country, he loves his people, he hates corruption.